what do you make of them doing it over 2 nights again? PW Insider have said that the plan is to do two 3-hour pay-per-views, 7 till 10 each night. So a bit of restraint being shown. How do you feel about them going back to the 2-night format?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, when they were running the show for 7 hours in 2019, we talked several times on the podcast about WrestleMania being run over 2 nights, and then it happened last year, and it's occurring again this year. So, I mean, it's obviously going to be an improvement. And especially if they're running it in a venue with not that many people there, I can understand why they would want to do it that way. The 3-hour shows are more tolerable rather than one epic show. Your stamina and your fatigue isn't then put to the test with an epic show. So yeah, I mean, to me, it's a far better way to go about it, and it means also that every match, it's like the second half of a 6-hour show. The fans are just, the enthusiasm drops, and you're struggling, and you think, by the as we know, we talked about this at the time. By the time the women's triple threat main event got in the ring in 2019, people had just had enough. They just wanted to go home. It was too much wrestling for one person or any person to consume in one sitting. So splitting it in over 2 nights and making each show approximately 3 hours will be far more tolerable. It will give everyone a sporting chance of getting or provoking a stronger reaction because fans won't be fatigued in the second half of the show. I mean, overall, it just seems like a win for everyone to me. What do you think, Kenny?
Yeah, I love the 2-night format. I hope that they do it kind of going forward. I know I spoke to Sean Ross Sapp, and he said that the WWE are open to doing 2 nights for WrestleMania from now on. So hopefully this is the beginning of it, because last year it was, having that 3-hour event on the Saturday night, and then you could go to sleep, and then you got up and there was a nice wee 3-hour show on the Sunday. It was lovely. So I hope that that's what they do. Speaking of...
And it spreads the joy as well, doesn't it, over 2 nights, in all seriousness. So you're eagerly anticipating both shows instead of dreading the one long show.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Roman Reigns spoke to Ryan Satin, and he was asked about the rumored match with The Rock, and Roman seemed to think that WrestleMania 39 in 2 years at SoFi Stadium is the place to do it. I think a lot of people were quite shocked by that. They thought that he would have said next year in Dallas. Do you think it matters when they do the match with The Rock? Do you think that it's better to wait till LA, or do you think that if they've got a chance to do it, they should maybe do it at AT&T Stadium next year?
I mean, to me, I think they should probably do it next year, because, I mean, the Reigns heel character does appear to have a lot of mileage left in it, but will we have reached the point in 2 years' time where people will be clamoring for Reigns to turn babyface? Because obviously he's so good as a heel, eventually there will be a turn. And I think at that point, people will be ready for him to be a babyface and will cheer him. So I think, 1 year from now, rather, 13, 14 months from now, or rather 15 months from now, it would be a better time for me to do the match with Reigns as the heel and Rock as the babyface. Obviously, that's going to be the arrangement, because I think Reigns will still be very effective in this role. I don't think there'll be any desire from fans by that point for him to turn. So that, to me, would be the best time to do it. I think the timing would be perfect in April of 2022. But, maybe they can spin it out till 2023. It's hard to know, really. I mean, let's face it, this time last year, Kenny, neither you nor I would have predicted that Roman Reigns would be playing the character that he is today as successfully as he's doing it today. So maybe 2 years from now, this will still be, the best thing in WWE, and still have a ton of heel heat and still have loads of mileage left in it. In many ways, if Reigns is going to do the babyface turn, the time to do it would be right after the Rock match, because then maybe Rock could endorse him afterwards as a babyface. Reigns could do the big turn. Rock could then do the big endorsement. And that's, huge mainstream publicity for Reigns as this new babyface character. So maybe the time to do it would be right after the Rock match. Maybe 2 years is the optimum time to do this match and do this turn. I've just talked myself out of it, haven't I, Kenny, once again?
You
So,
have,
I
yeah,
mean, to
no,
be honest with you, I think either would work. I think either next year or the year after, given how well this Reigns character has been performed and booked and managed, and just the patience and the discipline that all involved have for it and have shown for it. I think whatever they do, I think they'll be able to make this work, Kenny. What do you think?
yeah. I mean, the thing to be careful of, I guess, is that by 2023, Rock will almost be 51. So will he want to do it at that point? But at the same time, with next April in Dallas, one of the things to consider is we might not be at a stage where you can get 100,000 people into that stadium. It might be half capacity, and I almost wonder if that's part of the reason why they've picked Dallas next year. Because then, if they can't get everybody in, then okay, they can only get half the crowd in. That's still 50,000 people. So if they can still get 50,000, then they're almost making good on everything. So I wonder if also maybe eyeing up LA for that match is because you can pretty much confidently say by LA things will be back to normal enough that you can have a full stadium of people at that point. So I wonder if
definitely. And given that location, you should have a good chance of getting a lot of celebs in the crowd, which obviously WWE really likes because it makes them appear to be mainstream and big time. If The Rock's there, he can get some of his showbiz pals to attend. So I think something like that, we know Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon think that's fabulous when that happens. And even though Rock will be 51 then, I mean, he's still going to be in amazing shape. He's still going to look essentially the same as he does now. So I can't imagine anyone would say, oh, he's too old to do it. I just don't think for a moment that would even cross people's minds.